Welcome to the Etsy Entrepreneur Podcast, where sellers can get help starting, building, and growing their Etsy business so that they can make extra money pursuing their passion. Are you ready to get the tips and strategies you need to be successful? Then let's get started. Here is your host, a top 1% full-time Etsy seller, LL.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Etsy Entrepreneur Podcast. Got another awesome podcast for you guys today with some great content to help you hopefully build your shops, improve your shops, and do what you need to do to get more sales and be more successful. That's my whole goal with releasing these podcasts is to help you guys out. So I actually just got back from the post office. That's always a fun trip. Sometimes I just have the post office people pick up my packages. Sometimes I don't want to wait, and I have to go out anyways, so I will take the packages there. And it's kind of funny. Do you guys ever take a lot of the post office have a bin in different places? Sometimes it's right in front of the line. So you take your packages, right, and you skip all the people that are waiting, and everyone gives you dirty looks, and then you sit your packages down and you walk out while those other people are waiting in that long line to pay for their stuff. So it's super funny to get the dirty looks because the people don't know what you're doing, and they probably don't realize that they can pay for their shipping online and avoid that huge line and a huge waste of time. So it's just funny every time I do that. And each post office is different, so you never know where the bin's going to be or where to. Sometimes they don't even have a bin. You just take them up there and I just plop them right on the counter and say these are good to go. So it's just every post office is different. You would think they would have a standard bin somewhere. So I just wanted to bring that up because I think it's pretty funny, and I'm sure probably some of you guys have ran into that. So, but today I got a great podcast for you. What I want to talk about is some of the common mistakes that I see, with other Etsy sellers, and it's things that I usually every time I do a one-on-one coaching, it's a lot. At least a couple of these come up usually. So I want to walk you through some of these common mistakes that I see that really impact sales. So these are more focused on mistakes that I see that will cause people not to buy from your shop or buy your product. So these are things that you guys want to try and avoid. So the first one I want to talk about is your shop setup. So when you're setting up your shop, a lot of new shop owners don't realize the importance of setting up their shop fully. So what I mean by that is your branding, your logo, a banner image, is really what I'm talking about. The announcement section, the about me section, the shop members section. That stuff is really important for one, it just makes your shop look better. For two, it adds to the legitimacy of your shop, because if you don't have that stuff set up and a customer comes there, it's going to make your shop look super generic. It's going to be like going to a Target, but there's no signage anywhere. Would you go to some big building that didn't have any signage that you didn't know what it was and buy from there? Probably not. So just keep that in mind when you do set up your branding. When you set up your shop, make sure that you have branding. It doesn't have to be anything crazy when you set your branding up. So simple is fine. That's totally fine to make it as simple as possible. The thing to keep in mind is you can always change it down the road. So there's websites that make it even much easier for you if you're not super good at graphics and stuff like that. You can go to there's canva.com, canva.com, which allows you can set up banner images. You can set up logos in there. Really simple. You can upload your own stuff and adjust it, adjust fonts. There's free images in there. It makes it really, really easy. You can also go to Fiverr.com and pay somebody to create a logo for you for $5. You don't have to go that route, but you can. Those are options for you. But just make sure when you set up your shop, you have a logo, you have a banner image. Those are number one. Those are key because that's what customers see first. And then also set up your shop members, even if it's yourself. Just a little quick blurb about you. Set up your about me section, just why you started your Etsy shop. A lot of Etsy customers like to connect with their shop owners and see why they started their shop and a little bit of their background. So a couple paragraphs. You don't need to put anything crazy there. It just needs to be there. And shop sections really help your search. You helps your SEO because Etsy likes to see all of the shop sections filled out. Again, because they view it as you're going to be a more legitimate looking shop if you have all your shop sections filled out, and they're going to send more customers to your shop because they're going to trust that you have all your ducks in a row because all of your shop sections are set up. So just make sure you guys fill those all out. The next thing that I see a very common mistakes is with photography. So your photos, your listing photos is what I'm talking about. Beyond your shop, if they come to your shop directly, they will see your listing photos first. When they'll see the thumbnail when they're in the search feed. And then when they actually go into your listing, they're going to see the photos in your listing. So you want to make sure that your photo, your first photo that you have on your listing is a good quality photo where you can clearly see what you're selling, and the lighting is good. You can see what you're selling. It's easy to identify. And then make sure that that photo is cropped so when they see the thumbnail version of it, it also looks good when they're quickly scrolling. So it's like, it's almost like your Facebook news feed or your Instagram news feed. If they see something, a compelling photo, they're likely going to stop and view your listing. So just make sure that you are spending time to take high quality photos. The most common thing I see is just with lighting. Make sure you have natural light. Or a lighting kit. When you take your photos, you can buy a lighting kit on Amazon for less than $100. It has, there's like 2 or 3 stands with little white umbrellas. If your products are small enough, you can use that lighting kit and take the photos of your products. If you have bigger products, you just got to make sure that the lighting is good. It's a natural light and it's easy to see. Another tip is to make sure that every angle, you can see the product from every angle, back, front, side. And then also, if you can, the item in use or in a setting that it should be used for. If it's a shelf, the shelf should be on a wall in the living room. If it's a piece of jewelry, you want to try and take that piece of jewelry on someone's wrist or on someone's neck. It'll help the customers imagine themselves using the product or viewing the product. It just helps bring the imagination, the imaginative element to that product, makes it more real so they can imagine and they're more apt to buy it. The next thing that I want to talk about with you guys is descriptions. So make sure that you guys are taking the time to write a good description for your product. Really, a good way to think about it is a quick blurb. Who is this product good for? In what situation should it be used for? And then try and answer every question about the product before a customer would ask you. So what questions are they going to ask you? Put that in your product, whether it be in an FAQ section or bullet points, just every specification, any sizing, weight, any materials that is made out of, and any other washing instructions, the fit of it. Does it run small? Does it run big? Anything you can think of that a customer may ask, you want to put in your description. Because the way to think about it is if they have to ask you, they're probably not going to, and they're going to move on and find someone that answers their question and just buy from them. So put a quick blurb. This product's great for new homeowners, or this is a good product for new moms, or whoever the customer, whoever your audience is, and then you can put a quick blurb about how it's made, and then any questions that a customer may have, just kind of list them out and answer their questions so that they do not have to try and find those answers and end up buying from someone else. The last thing I want to talk about, and this is a big one, I could spend a long time talking about this, but I'm not going to go too far in depth. I'll do additional podcasts and training on this down the road, but it's your SEO, your search engine optimization. This is a common struggle and a problem that I see customers have a lot. And by SEO, what I'm really talking about is keywords in relationship to your title and tags. This is the main way that customers will find your listing. So it's super, super important that you guys are spending time on your titles and on your tags to make sure that they are high quality and good enough where you will attract the customers that you want to attract. So a lot of times what I see is the keywords that you're using are way too broad. If you're trying to attract everyone, you're going to attract nobody, because it's going to be too broad where they're never going to find you. If it's too broad, there's going to be 100,000 listings. The chances of someone finding you with that many listings is slim to none. So make sure you're using specific keywords that that are related to your product, and then also make sure that they are high quality keywords. Really, by high quality, I mean that they are related to your product. You don't want to use keywords that are not related to your product, because that'll end up hurting your search results too, because Etsy will stop showing your products to customers if the keywords aren't related, because people won't buy. So that'll definitely hurt your search. And then make sure you're using enough keywords in your title and tags. A lot of times I see maybe only 2 or 3 keywords used in the title, and then you have 13 tag spots. Maybe half of them are filled out. Make sure you're using as many as you can fit in your title and in your tags, and that will help you with your search results. You don't want to leave keywords out. You have to look at each keyword like a possible potential customer. So every keyword that you leave out is a potential customer that you're not showing your listing to, that you are going to leave out. So you want to think of different high quality keywords to use in your title and tags to attract the audience that you want to attract. So make sure your keywords are related to what you're selling. Make sure they're related to who should buy your product. Do not target a mom if you're selling something that's for a dad, and that doesn't make any sense. So just make sure you're targeting the right audience as well. Other than that, guys, those are the top tips or the top mistakes that I see, and the tips on how to avoid them as you guys are doing your listings and setting up your shop and stuff like that. If you guys want more help, more tips, I have courses and coaching programs available. You can go on to EtsyEntrepreneur.com and check those out. I have something for everyone there. I'm here to help you guys succeed and be more successful on Etsy.